I think we're at our 8:30 mark, and I want to officially welcome all our lovely attendees this morning. Welcome to our wonderful masterclass workshop about scaling your business, and with Nancy Allen, our presenter, and our Commissioner Ed Ciampi, and myself, Emily McHugh. So just thank you all for being here. And just by way of introduction, I'm the Regional Director for the Women's Business Enterprise Council of Florida, which is part of the Women's Business Development Council. And Nancy Allen is our CEO. And Ed Ciampi, our Commissioner of Martin County, proposed this idea of having a women's business development series in keeping with his vision to promote women in business. So we were able to collaborate and put on this first series of 3 master classes that will be coming to you for the next 3 months, including today. And we'll tell you more about that as we go on. But today we're launching it with Nancy's, based on her new book, The Decision to Scale. Nancy, I know your book is supposed to be right here in front of me. I will have it before we're done. It's here somewhere. I didn't want to go searching around. But anyway, Nancy's wonderful new book. And so her presentation today geared towards entrepreneurs or women in business or people in business who are seeking ways to scale their business and maybe new creative ideas that you may or may not have thought of that can really make a difference as you grow your business. So that is the hope of today's presentation, that you will take that away and that we'll have more opportunities to connect and interact with you as well. So I'm going to first start off by presenting Commissioner Ciampi. We'll say some words and then we'll get on with Nancy's presentation. So welcome, Ed, and good morning.
Emily, thank you very much. Nancy, it's good to be with you and all of you that are watching on our new reality, which is virtual and Zooming. And it would have been so nice. And we were hopeful when we first came up with this idea that perhaps we would maybe have this in person. But obviously under the current set of circumstances, that wasn't an option. But we also felt the times are too important now to postpone this, because you're most likely already in business, and delaying opportunities for education and learning and enhancing your businesses wasn't a smart idea for us to wait. I have been a small business owner myself. My wife and I had a couple of ice cream and chocolate stores. We've had a dry cleaner. I work now as a county commissioner, but I also work for a small company in Palm City. And, we can use these difficult times. And if you do research and homework, you'll realize even the most successful entrepreneurs, the most successful business people, they take advantage of these opportunities. These crises for some people are opportunities for others. And so, yes, I know the goal is to try to maintain your business and for some just stay in business. I've been there. I know what that's like. But this is also an excellent opportunity to learn from these 2 very talented, smart, knowledgeable women today. I wanted to focus the beginning of this with women in particular in business, because I know that there are many of you. I have many friends and family members that own their own businesses. And, I know that women in general have to also run their households and help the family. I watch my wife do it. And so I just wanted to get with Nancy and Emily and offer this opportunity for all of you that are interested at no cost, because, it's difficult when times are tough to put aside not only the time, but the finances to enhance your business and to grow. And that's the goal here. There's a possibility that when you come out of this pandemic, and I believe, with the information that I received through the state and the federal government and our health department, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm glad to report it's not a train. There will be opportunities. And, a lot of people did well in 2020, believe it or not. There will be a lot of money in the economy. Some of it will be artificial money that comes through $1 trillion stimulus packages from the federal government. There are other people that have changed their lifestyle and are not traveling and are not buying wardrobes to go into the office, so they'll have additional capital that they can spend with you. And so I was happy. I'm a member of the Palm City Chamber, and I know that Missy and Nikki have been really trying to help people along, and I know they're on the call today as well. So I want to look, we work in Martin County with the Business Development Board, the Economic Council, the chambers, and now to have this new resource with the Women's Business Enterprise Council. Every opportunity that you have to learn something new, to enhance your business and your mindset, I think is well worth it. I've known Emily for a long, long time. She's been very helpful in our businesses here and very helpful for me personally. I've known Nancy now for quite a while. She's an expert in the field. She is highly regarded, not just for helping women, but for helping businesses in general. And I think that not only this morning will be worth your time, take all 3 of the master classes. You know, when I was a kid, my dad, when my parents would drop us off at school, my dad, the last thing he would yell out the window is knowledge is power. And so the more knowledge you can get, and in this particular case, tuition free, I appreciate very much that you would take the time to do it. And I hope you have a great day. I'm going to bow out so that it could be a women-centric event. And I wish you all the best. If you have questions for me that involve the county or something that I can help you with, you can always reach me at my county office or through the questions with Nancy and Emily. And I wish you all the best today and good luck.
Thank you so much, Ed. You know you are most welcome. You do not have to bow out at all.
I'll stay in for a bit to see, you know, knowledge is power for me too.
There you go. No, we really appreciate your support, Ed. Thank you very much. And Ed is someone who walks the walk and talks the talk. So thank you for this real tangible support, Ed. And we really appreciate the opportunity. And again, welcome and thank you to everyone for being here. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Nancy Allen, who will present an amazing presentation to you today. So have your pen and paper ready, because it's time to absorb the brilliance coming your way.
Good morning, and thank you, Emily, and thank you so much, Ed, for making this series possible. And also just a reminder to everyone who registered, you will be getting a book thanks to the commissioner and some special funding that there is there. So thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And let's see. Let me know if you can see my screen. Yes, can you see it?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Okay, so this morning we're going to spend some time kind of discussing 5 ways to determine if your business is scalable, and more importantly, if you are ready to scale. So just a little bit more about who I am. So I'm an author, I'm a coach, I'm a trainer, I'm a consultant, and most of all, and what I think that I like to do best, is I'm an advocate for women-owned businesses. So you have a decision, and you're here today. I'm assuming you're here because you saw the title of this presentation and thought, yes, I'm interested in figuring out whether or not my business is ready to grow. I'm ready to grow my business, to scale my business. So this is one of my favorite quotes. Your life is your message to the world. Make sure it's inspiring. And I think that we have an opportunity every day to live an inspired and an inspiring life. So I thank you for showing up today. And I hope that you will be inspired by this presentation, by the other workshops in this series, to do something related to business development. We like to think that it's when you develop your business, you are doing more than something just for yourself, right? You're helping your community, you're bringing on new employees, helping existing employees. So it's all very, very important. So the Decision to Scale, 25 Tips for Women-Owned Businesses Looking to Grow, is the book to which we've been referring. And again, if you registered for this webinar, we're going to mail you a copy of the book. And when you receive it, please let us know. Flip through it. It's designed to be a resource. It's not, hundreds of pages long. It's really just 25 tips. So reach out to me or to Emily and let us know what you think of the book. It's the first in a series. The second book, which will be coming out in June, is called The Decision to Start. And so that's really focused on women who are working for someone else, either a corporation or another business, and they're looking to start their business. So that's the second book. And then the third book is The Decision to Exit. And that's for those women who have been in business for 20 plus years and are looking for what's next. So that'll be launched in the fall. So as you're looking at whether or not you want to scale your company or grow your company, you really should consider these 5 things. Doing some research, becoming an industry expert. We're going to talk a little bit about the importance of corporate values, and being an industry disruptor is a really great way to grow your business. And as the commissioner pointed out, we've seen some people over the course of this last year with the pandemic who actually did quite well. And that's primarily because they use some of the characteristics of being an industry disruptor. So we'll go over those. And then the 5th thing you should really consider is delegating. And we'll have a bit to share about that. So number 1 is research. Yes, you can, and yes, you should. Now, why should you do the research? First off, before we get into why you should do the research, a lot of people don't start things because they're afraid. But once you have a path and some guidance, you see that it's not that hard. And so that's what this series is designed to help you with, to give you a path, to give you some guidance, some contacts, some information where you can get more assistance. So I want to remind you to please do not feed the fears. We are here to help you. So as far as research is concerned, here are some things that you can start to research. First, target markets. Look at your existing targets. When you started your business, you had a particular target in mind. Look at your target market and see whether or not there's anything that's going on in their lives that you could now address and provide solutions for. The second thing is look at your target clients. If you're looking at growing your business, you're probably looking at taking on some new clients. Well, do they have to be the same clients in the same types of industries as where you are now, or can you target some more? And then the third thing is existing clients. And of these 3 things, the target markets, the target clients, and your existing clients, I think that going to your existing clients to ask some questions, to get some research and data is probably the most effective. And it's the most effective because, number 1, you already have a relationship with them. Chances are you're doing a very good job for them, and you can ask them for advice. People love to give advice. If I were to approach you and say, can you do me a favor? I'm looking at possibly doing this, and I'd like to, just chat with you about it. Chances are the person is going to say yes. They have a relationship with you. You've done a good job for them. They're probably going to say yes. And some of the questions you can ask is, what else does your business need? We're providing you with A, B, C, but tell me, what else does your business need? And then how can my company fulfill that need? right? What is it that you would like to see us do to help you, the client, grow? And also keep in mind that it's much less expensive to convert existing clients into more business than it is to get business, or get new clients rather. Okay, number two on our list of 5 things is to become an industry expert. So, point of personal privilege. This is my son, Mark. Mark is an elite athlete. He was captain of his cross country and track and field team when he was in college at American University in Washington, D.C. And Mark has industry status. Okay, he's an industry expert on running and competitive running. And I'm sharing this with you because the way he did that was through diligence, right? By practicing, by reading everything that he can. He takes care of his nutrition. He works with a coach. He had the support of a team. All of this is helping in the realm of becoming an industry expert. So here are 9 ways to claim expert status. And this is in one of the chapters in my book. And I'm not going to go through all 9 of these in the interest of time, but I'm going to highlight a couple of them. So first off, to claim expert status, you want to highlight if you're the first, the only, the original, or the most at something. Secondly, you could write a white paper, and you can write a white paper about operations in your business, about a sales technique that you use, a marketing technique, a training technique. And remember, a white paper doesn't have to be hundreds of pages long. It could actually be a slide deck that you animate. And we have one of our members who's done that very successfully. And if anybody is interested, I can share a link to that for you, so you can see how she did that so effectively that she works with Disney as a result of that white paper that she did. Number 3 is you can write a book. Number 4, become a speaker. Number 5, become a guest columnist. Number 6, sign up for HARO, which is Help a Reporter Out. Number 7, get involved with industry groups. Number 8, get involved with community groups. Number 9, become an adjunct professor at a local college. So I'm going to take a couple of these and flesh them out for you by way of example. So HARO, also known as HARO, stands for Help a Reporter Out. And the great thing about signing up for Help a Reporter Out is that it's really easy and it's free. You go to the link right here, helpareporter.com, and you can sign up either as a reporter, excuse me, or as a source. So you would want to sign up as a source, right? And then you get to select the categories that you want to be considered being a source for. So there's, for example, business category, a finance category. There's lots of different categories, and you can choose more than one. You just select all of the categories that in which you have expertise. And then you're going to start getting 1 or 2 emails a day that just list, based on the categories you've selected, that list where reporters need help. And then you follow the directions. Sometimes there's a deadline, so you have to send your bio by XYZ date. You have to email them or call them, and you have to, sometimes they'll ask you for some quotes. And if they like where you're going with the quotes and the information that you provide, they will reach out to you. So that's a really, really great resource. And I know Emily has mentioned in the past that she has been contacted because she signed up on HARO, and she ended up in some major publications. So it's a really good way to increase your expert status. And as you increase your expert status, you become better known and people will want to work with you. Okay, again, this is my book, The Decision to Scale, and there's a whole chapter. Actually, claiming expert status is tip number 9 in the book. Another tip is to become a speaker. And I know for a lot of people, public speaking is really challenging. Actually, I think, you know, besides death, it's the greatest fear that we have is to speak publicly. But it's really not that difficult if it's a subject that you know and that you're comfortable with. So here are a couple of ideas on how you can become a speaker. You can approach your industry groups. So let's say that you are part of your local chamber of commerce. Well, they have lunches, they have events. They're always looking for speakers. Contact them and say, I'd like to be considered as a speaker. I've done that in the past and I've landed some really good opportunities because I tell the contact, in addition to I'm available to be a speaker, I tell them that I'm available at the last minute because I'm local. So if you're bringing in a speaker from out of town and there's a problem at the last minute, they can't make their flight at the last minute, you know, something is preventing them from coming, you can count on me. And here are the topics that I speak about. So that's really important too, is to let them know you're local, you're available, and here are 3 or 4 topics that I speak about. And again, the more you do this, the easier it becomes. Okay, the third tip and third thing to consider are actually your corporate values. So everyone has to be on the same page as you grow your business to make sure that they share your values. So I found this photo on Facebook, and I think it's, you know, speaks to the point of people being on the same page. So clearly, this person did not get the mask directive. She didn't understand about the mask, that, you know, the need to wear masks, right? So remember, as you're growing and you're bringing people onto your team, that it's easier to do if you let them know what your corporate core values are. And it's easier for you to hire and bring on someone on your team successfully if they share your corporate values. So here are examples. My personal corporate values and our company corporate values match. And we do a workshop on how to find your corporate values or your personal values. But you can send us an email if you'd like. We have a really neat worksheet that we use that has some examples of corporate values and how to drill down to 3 or 5 of them. So connections, creativity, and courage are my personal values, and they also work really well within our council. And here's how they work really well. We connect with women business owners and we help them to connect with business opportunities. And my whole team does that on a regular basis. We also provide creative ideas for business growth. This is an example of providing creative ideas for business growth. And finally, we appreciate and admire the courage of women like you, who are looking to grow your business, looking to make a bigger impact in your community. Again, we do a whole workshop on corporate and personal values. So let us know in the chat if that's something you're interested in, and we can send you some materials. A fourth thing to consider is becoming an industry disruptor. And I love this quote by Oprah Winfrey: "Challenges are gifts that force us to search for a new center of gravity. Don't fight them, just find a new way to stand. And I think that all of us over the course of this last year have been forced, some of us, and some of us, we embraced this idea of, okay, this is a new reality, and how am I going to pivot? What am I going to do that is different from what I've been doing, but that is still serving my existing clients, looking at potential clients as well. So let's say a few words about some characteristics of disruptors, because you probably are a disruptor and are not calling yourself that. Or if you haven't considered this, here are some things you can consider to step into being an industry disruptor. So the first is to banish complacency, right? You want to also be a lifelong learner and researcher. So it's one thing to start your business with a particular idea, but if you don't change how you're approaching providing solutions or what you're looking at, then you're really going to be, for the most part, stagnating. And your business is a living thing. You have to embrace learning and researching. The third thing is you want to show your clients how important they are. And here, women are really good at this. We're really good at showing gratitude. We're really good at nurturing. And we should take those talents from our personal lives into our professional lives. We always recommend that you keep in contact with your clients on a regular basis, right? You can, at the start of a new relationship, have a whole onboarding process where you let them know how important they are and how you're going to manage this relationship. A couple of months into the relationship, reach out to them and ask how things are going from their perspective. This is a great way for you to maybe tweak some things, maybe offer some new solutions, but it's going to show them that you really care and that they are important to you. Number 4, you want to reach out to potential clients. And there are many different ways to do that. Networking is a fabulous way to reach out to potential clients. And we like to say that you should embrace the opportunity to work on your business as opposed to working in your business. And the difference is, when you're working on your business, you're growing your business. When you're working in your business, when you're involved with, all of the day-to-day activities, and you're not out there networking, you're not out there meeting people, again, you're probably not going to be growing. The 5th point is to learn from outside your industry. So that's really, really important. People from an industry other than yours have a different perspective, and you can learn a lot by becoming involved in an industry that may be different from yours, because of the way they approach things, because of the creative process that you're going to be going through by just looking at things a bit differently. Number 6, ask for help. So that's sometimes difficult to do for us, but you should always ask for help. And I like to say, imagine that someone were to come to you and ask for help. How would you approach that? You'd probably be very flattered that this person came and asked you for help, and you'd probably want to offer that help. So think on the other side, when you're asking for help, that person is probably very flattered that you've asked them for help, and they probably want to help. And then number 7 is to really be willing to take some risks. And that you can do in small steps. You don't have to risk everything to change your business, to grow your business, but you can take some small risks. And here, let me give you an example of one of our members who is an industry disruptor and who is, really embraces looking at things a bit differently and taking some risks. So I broke my foot a couple of years ago now, and I went to the Baptist Health, the neighborhood clinics that they have, right? And as I was waiting to see the doctor, I was on the bed, and they have, the privacy curtains. So the person who admitted me put me on the bed and pulled the privacy curtain. And this is what I saw, which is not what you regularly see in a privacy curtain, right? So I got up and I looked at the tag, and it was a Cube Care curtain. Cube Care is one of our members. It's a great company that's owned by Susanna Robledo, and she grew her business from nothing to having 50 employees, and this is public knowledge, over 5 million in revenues. And what she does is she creates these hospital privacy curtains. So I immediately snapped this photo, and I sent a text to Susanna, and I said, I'm at Baptist Health in one of the walk-in clinics, and this is what I see. And let me tell you, I feel really good seeing this, as opposed to the Baptist Health logo, which is on the other side of the curtain. Okay. So Susanna wrote back, she said, I'm so glad that is how you're feeling, because that's the purpose, and that's how we have sold this new concept to Baptist Care. So I happened a couple of weeks later to be having a meeting with Jackson Health, which is another one of our sponsors. And as I was meeting with Jackson Health, I was asking them, what are you looking for as far as contracts for our members? And we got to talking, and I mentioned Cube Care. And I said, do you do business with Cube Care? And she said, yes. The Jackson Health representative said, yes, we do business with Cube Care. And I showed her this photo, and I said, do your hospital curtains look like this? And she said, no, they don't. And so she immediately called Susanna and said, I'm here with Nancy Allen. She showed me the curtain that you do for Baptist Health. We need to rethink the curtains you're doing for us. And so again, an example of looking at a contract from many different perspectives, right? So what Susanna did is, it's the same curtain, but she was looking from the patient's perspective. What are they looking at, and what are they feeling? And she came up with a solution that she tried with one contract, and now, as a result of some feedback, is using for other contracts. So again, it's all about thinking differently and thinking like a disruptor. So here's another favorite quote of mine. This is the sign you've been looking for. So if you're considering whether or not you want to scale your business, here is the sign. You came this morning and you are participating in this first of 3 workshops for business development. So thank you for being here, and take it that this is the sign, and we are here to help you. The 5th thing about scaling your business, growing your business, is probably the hardest thing for women especially, and that's delegating. So again, another favorite quote of mine, get into the habit of asking yourself, does this support the life I'm trying to create? This goes back as well to your core values, but it also speaks to if you're able to delegate or not, or willing to or not, because you cannot live the life that you want to ultimately live if you're trying to do everything yourself. So here are 4 reasons why you should delegate. Number 1, you should delegate so you can focus on priorities. Again, it goes back to working on your business as opposed to working in your business. A second reason you want to delegate is for team development. So it's actually been proven that people will work for companies because they feel appreciated. They'll stay in a position, they'll stay with the company, even though they're offered more money someplace else. They'll stay where they're at because they feel appreciated. And delegating is a really great way to show appreciation, because it shows that you have confidence in that person to do what they do, to represent you, to be integral in the creation of new opportunities for you. So team development is a really good reason why you should delegate. You also would be getting better results if you delegate, right? So if you're trying to do everything, you know the expression, you can't see the forest for the trees. So you have to be able to step back in order to grow and to get better results. And then finally, delegating gives you some fresh insight. Everybody has a different way maybe of doing something. So delegating the way you do something A to Z, and the way I do something A to Z may be a little different, and you may learn something. There may be some cost savings. There may be something that you hadn't even thought of as you bring in this fresh insight. All right, again, you're here because this is a decision you have to make to grow or not to grow. And here's a recap of the 5 things you should consider as you're deciding whether or not you're in a position to grow and if it's time to grow. Number 1 is your research, right? What kind of research have you done? And if you haven't done any research, what could you start looking at? Number 2, what can you do to become an industry expert? We all have expertise. That's why you started your business, is because you knew that you could provide a solution for something that was needed out there, right? So what can you do to further that? Number 3, what are your corporate core values, and do you and your team live them? Again, one thing you can do, and we often counsel our members when they have a difficult client that they're working with, that they may want to consider, is it really worth it to work with this person if they rub up against your core values? If every time you see an email from a client or you receive a phone call from a client and you get a knot in your stomach, or you get like, oh my God, not again, it's probably time to move away from that client, right? And there are different ways you can do that. And sometimes it's easier or harder, but again, look as you're bringing on new clients so that this doesn't happen, right? As you're bringing on new clients, make sure that they are people and companies that share your values, that will make it easy for you to work with them, to offer them great service and really good solutions. Number 4, how can you become an industry disruptor? I hope the example of Susanna's company sparked some ideas for you. It's easy to look at things a little bit differently, and women are really good at that, again, because we multitask, because we have so many things that we're doing at the same time. it's easy to see, okay, I can bring this or that to this particular industry, this particular client, and look at a way of disrupting the norm and offering a new solution. The number 5, what can you delegate? You know, and I think it's really, really important to be able to take some things off our plate. There is a great book that I highly recommend called The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. And in The Infinite Game, Simon Sinek profiles great leaders. And the title is based on the premise that there are 2 kinds of games that we play. There's the finite games, and then there's the infinite games. An example of a finite game is like a basketball game, right? So there are 2 teams. There's some rules that everybody follows. There's some referees who manage those rules. And at the end of a specific amount of time, the game is over and a winner is declared. That's a finite game. And in business, if you're in a finite game mindset, you're not really looking to grow, because you're thinking, according to the research and the premise of Simon Sinek, you're thinking in a closed-minded way and in a very competitive way, as opposed to having an infinite mindset and playing an infinite game. So he profiles corporations that have that kind of mindset and shows how they really grow over the years, because they pivot, because they respond, because they offer new solutions to problems that arise. And one of the people that Simon Sinek profiles, one of the leaders, is a woman named Lori. I think her last name is Richardson. She was an admiral in the U.S. Navy, one of the top ranking naval officers, and a female. And so he profiled her leadership style and asked how was it that she was able to rise in the ranks and be such a phenomenal leader. And she said to her, leaders look up and out, and they hire people to look down and in. Another way of saying working on your business as opposed to working in your business. So as the business leader, as the business owner, it's really incumbent on you to have the bigger vision, right? So to be looking up and out, as opposed to always be focusing down and in. That's how you can delegate. Okay. So finally, wherever you are, be all there, right? For some of us, scaling our business is really easy to do once we've got some things in place. For others of us, now may not be the time for you to scale your business, and that's okay. What you can be doing in the meantime is looking at these 5 tips and starting maybe to do some research. We're starting to think, how can I, use some more of my delegating authority, right? So wherever you are, just concentrate on being there and keeping your vision in mind. Think it, want it, get it. I'd like you to just pause for a minute and think about visualization, right? So if any of you in the audience are athletes, you probably worked with a coach, and your coach probably had you do some visualization as you were training, as you were getting ready for competition. And scientific research has shown, with athletes especially, that their body does what their mind tells it to do. And the research was really interesting. They brought in a bunch of runners, and they had them sitting in a lab. They hooked them up to some monitors brain waves and heart rate. And they told them to visualize a race. So they had them close their eyes, visualize being on the starting block, hearing the gun go off, getting into position, running the race. And they monitored while these athletes were sitting down, they saw their heart rates go up. The athletes started to perspire, their breathing changed, and all of that just by being in a state of visualization. And I really encourage you to do these kinds of exercises where you can visualize where you want to go and train your mind to get to where you want to go. And we can help you at the council. We want to help you. So please reach out to us so that we can make this a reality for you. So we do have a membership program called the Growth Shift, where you will be receiving in a community setting resources to grow your business and some group coaching. So we want to encourage you to get on the wait list to join our membership program at the Growth Shift, and so that we can help you reach your goals for business development. And then finally, I'd like to just give you a preview of the series. The second workshop in this series is on March 26th. It's going to be led by Emily, and the workshop is about negotiation, and the title is Negotiation Skills to Maximize Value for Yourself and Your Business. Okay, and finally, that's the presentation. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so we can see some of the comments or questions that might have come in. And I hope you enjoyed the presentation and learned. Okay, so Emily, have you seen any?
Yes,
any
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nancy. Yes, absolutely. We have some feedback here. Some people are requesting some of the things that you mentioned, the corporate values worksheet, as well as the white paper link you mentioned.
Okay.
So we can share that also. So what I encourage everyone, make sure we have your emails, and then we can definitely send the information to you. So please, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat, and we're happy to respond to them. So Andrea says, I love it, Nancy. Thank you very much. Thank you, Andrea. From Small Cakes and Stewart. Let's see who else we have here. Naomi, Missy. Thank you, Missy. Let's see. I'm not sure who that was from. Okay, this was awesome, Nancy. So much great information. I'm not sure who that was from, but oh, maybe that's Naomi. Okay, Naomi, thank you. Okay, I'm kind of going backwards on the scrolling, so yeah, but we'll make sure you get the links. And Pauline of Spick and Span, thank you, Pauline. Melanie of Hire It Out. Okay, very good. So we'll definitely respond with what you're looking for. So we have included our contact information. Ed's information is there, his phone number and email. Mine is there, and Nancy's was on the screen. And for Nancy's, I can put it into the chat. Make sure I have the correct one. Unless you want to put it in, Nancy, that might be.
Yeah, I'll put it in.
Okay, thank you. And then, okay, so let me look at this question here. So, hi, Nancy from Betsy. Thank you. What if we are the main breadwinner for our business, and therefore our billable time is what makes us our income? Any recommendations for ways to scale when a lot of that knowledge is in our own head, so to speak? That's the question.
Yeah, and I'm going to share. I'm just making sure I've got my right email. Okay. I'm going to share a story with you that will maybe help bring this point home. So I worked a number of years ago. I worked with a business owner who wanted to scale her business, and she was a solopreneur. So, you know, a business of one. She did everything from the admin to training. She ran this company called Math Monkey, and it's a company that does tutoring and helps young kids, you know, really learn and love math, right? So she was doing everything. And so I came in, it was part of the Miami Herald Business Challenge. So she and I were matched up. And one of the first things I asked her is, okay, so let me see all the things that you do. And she just went on this long list of everything that she did. And I said, okay, so I'm going to invite you to consider the following mantra. I'm going to let go so I can grow. And we worked on her having policy manuals and, you know, how-to manuals, which she had all in her head. And I said, why don't you take a couple of days and put all that on paper, so that, you know, someone who can come in and help you will know this is what you do when you bring on a new client. This is what you do when you're looking to, you know, connect with marketing opportunities. And so she created all of these different policies, taking them out of her head and putting them on paper, and realized, yeah, this is really important stuff, but I can share this with someone else who would then be able to do this so that I can do what I'm best at, which is growing this business and dealing with the clients and going out and, you know, talking about my business. So, you know, I'm going to invite everyone to come up with your own mantra. If you like, you know, let go so I can grow, by all means, adopt that. And I hope I've answered your question. The first thing I would suggest is to get it all out of your head and onto paper so that you can train someone. And there's lots of research about the time it takes to train someone and why we should take that time. Yes, it's going to be labor intensive at first. It'll take you hours to train someone, especially if you're a perfectionist and you need to let some of that go. But in the end, once they get into a rhythm, the cost of training isn't that much once you realize that for them doing that one thing, you got out in the community, you spoke at a certain event, and you brought in a client who brings in 10 times more than the person that you're paying to help you. So that's why it's really important to take that time to do the training.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Nancy. Do we have any other questions for Nancy? We have a little bit more time. We want to make sure we address any thoughts you have. I'm just scrolling through here still, make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, so Andrea, hi Andrea, she asks, what's the risk of teaching someone your business model and they take that model and create their own business?
Well, hello, Andrea, and that's a really great question, and it's a really big dilemma, right? So it boils down back to hiring people who share your own values, right? And it is a risk, and we have stories that would curl your hair from, you know, trusted employees that our members tell us, from trusted employees who took their business, right? And that does happen. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say it doesn't happen, but there are ways to mitigate that, right? One is make sure when you're hiring someone that they are like you, that they are not the type of person who is here to suck everything and then go and, you know, grow their own business. Another way is to be constantly in a state of appreciation to your employees. Show them how valuable they are to you. Share with them how difficult it is to run a business, right? Be open and authentic. There are times when things go smoothly. There are times when things don't go quite so smoothly. But if you're, keeping that from your employees, you're not showing them that they are really part of your team. Another way is, you can have a non-compete. You can ask people right up front when you're hiring them to sign a non-compete. And I would suggest that you get a really solid non-compete from a lawyer, and that you have the conversation during the onboarding of your new employees to say, look, you're signing this, and this is serious. And if you are in breach of this non-compete, here's what's going to happen to you. So you could go that route as well.
We have a follow-up to that question, Nancy. I think it's from Pauline. Should we have confidentiality agreements to be signed when you're training someone, like during the training period?
Yes, and that's when to do it, as opposed to after the fact, right? So you do it, and it's really important to properly onboard your employees, right? It's not a matter of, I need someone, I'm hiring you, here are the keys to the office, right? You have to take some time to work with that person, to review your employee manual. And you should have an employee manual, even if you're just hiring one person. And you can download employee manuals and templates from the internet that you just adapt to your own company's needs. But it's really important that you take an hour and a half to go over with a new employee all of the expectations. And confidentiality is one of those expectations, and this is when you get them to sign. Employment law, also to protect yourself, requires that you do this, right? Because you don't want to be in a position of being sued at a later point, and the employee says, well, I never got an onboarding. I didn't see a policy manual. I didn't know I was allowed to have flex time, and you're firing me because you expected me to work from 9 to 5. So it's good practice to take the time up front to, make sure that everyone's on the same page when it comes to expectations. Another really good practice comes from another great book. It's kind of old, but it's, an oldie but a goldie, as they say. And the book is called It's Okay to Be the Boss. And it's an easy read. You'll read it in an afternoon, and it's got some really great things. One of the things I like to highlight about that book is that they recommend that you have regular meetings with your staff, regular one-on-one meetings with your staff. That could be done on a weekly basis. It could be every other week. It could be once a month. But the important thing is to say, for example, Emily and I have a meeting every Thursday morning. And during that meeting, every Thursday morning, we go over what the expectations are. We go over any questions. We go over ideas. It's a great meeting. We both look forward to it, and we get a lot out of that meeting. So if you're not meeting with your employees on a regular basis, start doing that, because it's going to change the dynamic. It's going to show your employees that they are valued enough that you are taking a chunk of time out of your day once a week to meet with them one-on-one. And by the way, the other benefit to that is if there's an issue, you nip it in the bud. You don't let months go by with, I should have done, I didn't do, why didn't they understand this? You kind of nip it in the bud by having these weekly meetings. It doesn't have to be an hour long. It can be 10 or 15 minutes long, but it's the issue is to have these regular meetings.
Yeah, and Nancy, I have to say those meetings definitely go a long way. So thank you for highlighting that. And if you might be saying, well, I may not have a big staff, or I don't have this. Maybe you should have a meeting with yourself. It's the idea of checking in, and it's something just to kind of put into practice. So that's really a great insight. Okay, we have a few minutes left, so please, if you have any other questions, please put them in. I put in the chat the link for the next workshop on negotiation skills in March of 26. So I hope you all register to come and share this with people that you feel could really benefit from it, because for your business, it's really critical to know how to negotiate. It can dictate your entire future. So please encourage you to sign up and come for that. Also, we have a book club, Nancy, with the SBA, in conjunction with the SBA. We have all kinds of programs. If you want to be abreast of all that we offer, we have our weekly Wednesday windows, which are free to attend. We have our monthly regional meetups. We also, of course, certify women-owned businesses, and I'm interested in that as well. And we're offering this new program, the Growth Shift, to help you grow and develop the skills that you need to be successful. So we invite you to really, yes, the book club, Melanie. Yes, it's with the SBA that we do it every 6 weeks. So what you need to do is just sign up on our website. Let me drop that link. Make sure you're on our email list. And also, yeah, sorry.
I was going to say the next book club meeting is on, I think it's March 12th. And the book we're reading is called Vivid Visions. And it's a great book. It's not a long book, so you'll be able to read it fairly quickly. It's a great audio book too. I'm a big audio book reader, listener. You can get a lot. I walk every morning and every afternoon, and as I'm on my walk, I'm listening to a book. And people often say, oh, I don't have time to read. Well, if you're in your car, listen to the book. As you're eating your breakfast, listen to the book. As you are having lunch, listen to a book. There are so many ways and so many reasons why you should do that, because it really broadens your horizons, right? And I listen to all kinds of books, mostly business development books, but I listen to books on creativity because I like to remain open to different ways of looking at things. And I listen to novels too, because I love a good novel. So.
Wow, that's exciting. That's wonderful, Nancy. Well, everybody, I want to thank you so much. Please definitely, as I said, the best thing to do is just register on our website. Send me an email. You can be on my email list for the Treasure Coast and Palm Beach, so that I can also keep you abreast of the book club and all of that information. Andrea, like the information as well. Okay, I don't have the link directly to the next one handy, but it's definitely, if you sign up on our website, you will get everything. So please do that. And Ed, welcome back. You want to say some words?
I've been here the whole time. I've listened the whole time.
Good.
Wonderful. Thank you. No, we really appreciate your.
Yes. And if also to the people that participated, we do have additional availability. If you have friends that you think can participate in this, speak to your network, speak to your friends, and let them know that the next 2 master classes will have just as much important information for them.
Yes, and thank you, Ed, for highlighting that. We do have a 3rd master class coming up in April 30th. Is projected date, and that will be on perfecting your winning pitch. So as you seek to promote your business, either to attract more clients or investors or whoever you want to pitch to, that will be a wonderful workshop as well. So save all the dates. March 26th is next, April 30th, and you will get advised of all these dates and upcoming links. Naomi asked, do they have to reside in Florida? No. The good news is you can share this with anyone around the world. That's what this platform allows us to do. Now, for the certification process, we certify women-owned businesses in Florida specifically, but if people are in other states, we can refer them to our counterparts in other states where they can get certified. But for everything else that we mentioned today, it's totally open to the world. So thank you for asking that question for sure, because that is one of the absolute benefits of this format, that we're not bound by location. So I think in the interest of time, we're now, I think, at 9:32. It's always sad to say goodbye, but we can keep the conversation going, send out the emails. Oh, join us on Facebook, guys. Let me drop that in the link real quick. Please like our Facebook page and share what you liked about today or anything like that, so we can continue our conversation over there. Facebook.com/WBECFL. I think that's it. And so you should be able to connect with us there. So yes, thank you all so much as well. Remember to save the chat. Just click the 3 dots there and you can save everyone's comments and contact information, emails and such. Okay.
It looks like, Commissioner, did you want to say something?
I just wish everyone a great, safe, healthy weekend, and keep up the good work, and we'll see you at the next one.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Ed. Someone just wrote that they can't save the chat. You should be able.
I have saved it, so I will. We can send you the chat. Okay, I'm going to save it again.
Oh, okay, you're in chat. Okay, all right, guys. All right, we'll make sure you get it. Okay, we'll make sure that you get this chat because we're able to save it for you. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so you'll get that. Okay, well, thanks again so much. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Ed, and thank you everyone for spending this time with us today. And we'll see you next time, and see you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.